Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Charlamagne the God.
Hold on, my headphones ain't on.
All right, Jess Hilarious. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, Jess Hilarious.
How you doing?
Hold on.
Oh man.
Let me grab her headphones. Hold on.
It is Thursday, y'all. Anyway, and it is pre-game Friday, basically.
Give me a minute.
All right, give him a minute.
He's over there quick switch.
Getting himself together.
There you go. Let me hold these real quick.
This is the most bootleg job I've ever had in my life, y'all.
Live radio, baby. Okay, here we go. Jessica Robin Moore.
How you doing? What's up,
Good morning. What's happening?
Nothing. I'm chilling. I'm home, and I couldn't be all out like that because if I wake that little baby up, that I just took 30 minutes to put back to sleep.
She just went to bed.
She teething, so she up and then she sleep. She up and then she sleep, and it's
how you give her my headphones?
Well, you wasn't here because you was stuck behind that garbage truck, and Jess was talking about her baby not being able to go to sleep.
Okay. Yo, he is such an idiot, yo. She is sleep envy. She sleep now, but it's teething season, so she be up then she sleep, then she up then she sleep. So
I understand. I get it.
Look, yo, did y'all grandmothers ever tell y'all right? Because I'm trying to figure out if I should do this or not. Put a little bit of cognac on a rag and then slide across her gums.
My grandmother never said that, but I've heard that before. But I don't know if you should do that.
Well, you know who was? I heard you talking about that yesterday with Loren, and she said maybe you should do that. But you do know Loren drinks every day, so I don't know if that's a good way.
Y'all throw this girl under the bus and back it up on her. Damn, why?
I don't know if it was cognac. Well, I don't know if it was cognac, but it was like some type of alcohol. I don't know. I thought it was rum.
Cognac is crazy, but yes.
That was Diddy's next alcoholic beverage.
I heard
it's gonna be Ciroc De Leon.
You don't want to put that on there.
I heard the rum too, but I don't have no rum. I just got Hennessy and VSOP in here, so I ain't know what to do. But
there's teething things. There's teething things that you can get. I wouldn't put no cognac on it. I mean, I was
by the way,
wives' tale.
That was back in the day.
Yes,
you shouldn't even be having them conversations publicly. Then people they'll call diapers on you.
You're right.
And say Jess Hilarious was giving her child
alcohol
liquor.
First thing in the morning.
Some recipes we got to keep amongst each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, but y'all know me, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get the show cracking. Drew Sidora will be joining us. You know her from The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She has a new album, I Did It For Me, out right now, so we'll be kicking it with Drew Sidora. And there's a lot to break down in front page news. Trump said there's a bunch of people that's not going to be allowed in this country, and I'm sure we'll break it down with Morgan when we come back. So don't go anywhere. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. The Pacers take on OKC tonight. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. So we'll see how that works out. What up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey, how you feeling?
Good.
Good morning.
Good. I love to hear it. Okay, let's get into it. First on front page, Elon Musk is still slamming President Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, saying it needs to be killed. In a post on X, Musk said a spending bill should be drafted that doesn't massively grow the deficit and increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. In a later post, he urged Americans to call their senators and congressmen, saying bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. Now, Musk has been highly critically of the spending bill in days since ending his work with Doge as a special government employee for the White House. On Tuesday, he called it a disgusting abomination. Meanwhile, the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, says Elon Musk has ghosted his calls and him over President Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. And he calls Musk's recent comments very disappointing as he continues to tout the bill. Now, Speaker Johnson spoke to the media saying he called Musk following his recent comments, but Elon didn't answer. And he went on to say that he spoke to President Trump, who's not too delighted about Elon's current stance on this big, beautiful bill. Let's take a listen to Speaker Johnson, House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Well, I'll tell you, I called Elon last night and he didn't answer. I don't know what happened in 24 hours. Everybody can draw their own conclusions about that, okay? But I look forward to talking to my friend about it again. And obviously, we've talked about this. As you know, he's not delighted that Elon did a 180 on that.
So Musk has since posted bankrupting America is not okay. Again, kill the bill. And the Congressional Budget Office reports the legislation would add a $2.4 trillion to the nation's deficit over the next decade. And the bill can only afford to lose three GOP votes in the Senate, which is happening right now. The Senate is taking up this bill as the session has begun. Now, elsewhere, Capitol Hill lawmakers are coming together in opposition.
Well, hold on, Morgan. I want to say something, right?
Sure.
Well, this criticism from Elon is one of two things. Either Elon said, "Look, I paid damn near $300 million for this presidency, so I have paid the cost. I have paid the cost to be the boss, literally, so I can criticize the president and this bill. And if your job, as the head of Doge, was to find waste in government, and then you see a bill that's wasteful, you have to call it out."
Correct.
Yep.
But this also could just be a way for Elon to rehabilitate his image and get his companies back on track. So they're all in on it. Hey, I'm going to criticize this bill. I'm going to criticize you. You're leaving our administration to get back to work. We know that your companies took a hit. So we're going to let you, criticize us to rehabilitate your image. I will believe all of this when Trump cancels one of Elon Musk's government contracts for SpaceX. Because that's how he plays. That's how he plays.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how he plays.
That's true. That's true.
If somebody around him is really criticizing him, and he's going to punish them in some way, I'll believe it when Trump cancels one of Elon Musk's contracts for SpaceX.
Elon is already filling it in with Tesla. So, to your point, both points are good and valid. Elsewhere, Capitol Hill lawmakers are coming together in opposition of a 10-year ban on AI regulations, which is also a part of Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Now, Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, y'all may know her as Bleach Bomb, Bad Bill's Body. Yeah. She says it violates states' rights. And California Democrat Ted Lieu, he tends to agree, adding that banning states from putting guardrails on AI would cause unnecessary harm. Let's take a listen to California Democrat Ted Lieu's comments.
I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene once every 100 years. This is that time. I agree that this 10-year provision is extreme. It's going to cause unnecessary harm. This is a bad provision, and I hope the Senate will take out this 10-year moratorium.
Marjorie Taylor Greene pretty much said that, that she doesn't agree with it. And, people came for her saying you had one job just to read the bill. But she basically said the same thing that, there's no telling what can happen in 10 years with AI. Ted Lieu, he wants the Senate to strip out the provision. If it stays in there, Greene says she won't vote for it when the bill comes back for a vote. And that could doom the whole package thanks to the slim margins in the House. Again, they can only afford, the Senate Republicans can only afford 3 votes, no votes against this bill.
Yeah, there has to be some type of regulations on AI over the next
absolutely.
decade. We just I'll be watching so many AI videos and I'll be just like, wow.
Because at this point, it's hard to tell what's real and what's AI.
Man.
And there definitely needs to be some regulations on that for sure. But Republican Senators Rand Paul and Mike Lee also backed Musk's criticism, while Republican Congresswoman, as I mentioned, Marjorie Taylor Greene, expressed regret for voting yes on the measure. Senate Republicans, as I mentioned before, can only afford 3 no votes to get the measure passed. They're looking at July 4th as a projected deadline to get that bill on Trump's desk. So I will keep you guys posted on this one big beautiful bill and how it continues to move through Congress.
Well, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
We'll see you next hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
I'm dialing. Hey, what you doing, man? I'm dialing. I'm calling you.
This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Jamal.
Peace, Jamal. Why you sound so aggressive?
So damn aggressive this morning.
I want to make sure y'all can hear me.
We can hear you.
We can definitely hear you, Jamal.
All right. What's going on, y'all?
What's up, brother?
We blessed, black, and highly favored. How you?
I'm good.
Okay, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah. All right. I want to give my wife, Dominique, happy anniversary.
Hey.
We've been together going on 10 years, married 5. I just want to tell her I love her.
That's beautiful, my brother. What you got planned for her, man?
We're going out of town this weekend.
Where you going?
Charlotte.
Hey, 704. Love the 704.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all just gonna get a hotel and go check out a comedy show or something? Is a concert going on?
Something like that. I don't know about no concert, no comedy show. She got a 20-year class reunion going on this weekend.
Oh.
Her birthday was Tuesday, so, I got a couple surprises for her.
Okay,
nice,
okay.
nice.
You gonna take her to Merch? Take her to Merch in Charlotte, man. Merch Heart and Soul in Charlotte.
Okay.
It's a nice soul food restaurant.
That down. Bitch ass.
Yeah, it's called Mertz. Nice soul food restaurant in Charlotte called Mertz.
Merch.
Yeah, Mertz. MERT. I ain't been there in a while, but
All right.
the food is amazing.
Okay.
Why y'all laughing? Mertz is good as hell.
Mertz is great. Have a good one, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, I appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Hello, who's this?
It's Steve from the Bronx.
Steve from the Bronx. What up? Get it off your chest, Steve.
Yeah. Y'all was talking about the big, beautiful bill and Elon Musk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the reason he's opposing it is because it's killing the EV industry. In the bill, it kills the tax rebate, and also it's going to make people with an EV pay $250 a year just to drive EVs. So that's why he's opposing the bill.
Oh, okay.
Y'all
That
gotta
makes
have,
sense.
Brian Tyler Cohen. Y'all ever heard of him?
Yeah, I heard of Brian Tyler Cohen.
Yeah. Y'all gotta have him on the show. He just did a video yesterday explaining why Elon Musk was going in on the bill.
I think that's another good reason. I also think that he's trying to rehabilitate his image, though, just so he can get his companies back on track.
Yeah, but if his whole thing is EV and he's taking shots at EV,
definitely he's gonna lose a bunch of money if they pass his bill.
That's right.
Yeah, because he already lost a bunch of money just being the head of Doge, and firing a bunch of people. Like, so, there's a lot of people who already turned their back on a lot of Elon's companies. You see his stock prices dropping crazy.
Definitely.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
I think they said Elon lost like $100 billion being a part of Doge.
Hello?
Billion?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Can y'all stop saying the N-word so damn much on the morning? Especially Jess Hilarious. I'm gonna say the N-word one time. She need a convention.
You can't tell her not to say it, and then you say it.
Yeah.
She need a convention.
But you said
That's
it again.
right. Another one. But yes, sir. I am working on that. Yes, sir. You are right. I apologize.
That's a damn lie. All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up. And if you're going to work this morning or to school and you see a long line around GameStop or Target or Walmart, there's a new video game that came out, Nintendo Switch 2, and they're saying that lines are around the corner, so don't think it's something weird. But they're looking up for the new Nintendo Switch 2. So they
don't order online. They still line up and get in line.
They still line up and get in line.
That's great. Those are the great days, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to get one for Jackson. Today's Jackson's birthday, but they said I would have to get online at 6 a.m. So I told Jackson he'll have to get the second wave of that stuff. Or I'll get it on eBay for a little more money. But get it off your chest. Call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. Everything with me is blessed.
Call up next. 800-585-1051.
Not just me. I'm what the culture feeling.
Hello, who's this?
Envy. What's up, Envy?
What's up, Trav?
What's up, Jess? What's up, Shar?
What's up,
Peace.
Jess, I heard you doing a little chant the other day for Pride. Wake up, this morning is Pride. Be gay, this morning is Pride. We don't want no kitty cat, kitty cat, ow.
Okay.
What the hell does that mean?
We don't want no kitty cat. It's a chant.
That's what all the gay guys be saying that show.
Charlamagne.
Huh?
It's Pride. Be gay. Be nice to your gay friends, Char. Did you say happy Pride to all your gay friends, Char?
I don't have to. I treat all my friends equally all the time. All my friends, regardless of what month it is. But happy Pride. But listen, why y'all say kitty cat when y'all don't like kitty cat?
That's what they're saying. No kitty cat.
You said no kitty cat. Oh, okay. I don't like that. I don't think y'all have to be prejudiced against the poom poom just because y'all don't like it. I think that's whack.
Wait, who was being prejudiced to poom poom?
That's very whack. Like that. That sounds very anti poom poom. Just say y'all like bunky. Say bunky bonk bonk. Bunky bonk bonk. Say something like that.
But I do like boogie boom boom. That's the thing.
Well,
that's
say
what
that.
I said.
Yeah,
I like boogie.
No, say that. You ain't got to disrespect the poom poom. Like
Kitty
I
cat
don't like
ain't do
that.
nothing to you.
Kitty cat, ow.
Boogie bonk bonk is crazy, yo.
I'd rather hear that. I don't want to hear y'all say no kitty cat. Like, that's whack to me. Like, why y'all dissing the poom poom just because y'all don't like it?
I don't think like this. It was just saying that we don't want any vagina because we would rather have,
If I said that, if I said no gay, y'all be mad as hell.
You wouldn't say that. You would say no butt. That's how you would say.
And y'all would be mad. Y'all would call me homophobic and all that stuff.
You don't want no butt. Who's gonna be mad if you don't want no butt, Charlamagne?
Don't be poom phobic, bro.
Nobody mad. You don't want no butt.
How did we get here? Happy Pride to everybody out there.
Yeah, I don't like that. Don't disrespect the poom poom. Kitty cat.
Bye.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody want to hear that.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. What up, Loren?
Good morning.
You going to court today?
Hey, girl.
I'm still figuring that out.
Okay.
If I'm going today.
Just tell the truth. You're over it. It's okay.
Don't go.
I'm not over it. I'm just picking and choosing because there's a lot that goes down.
It's a lot of Diddy fatigue. This week has been kind of whack. You know, and once you go from the Cathys and the Kid Cudis, you know what I mean?
The bigger, it's still interesting. They said a knife fight yesterday.
But all these stories we've heard. It's just,
I've never heard Cassie and Diddy in a knife fight.
Yes, and then he hung allegedly, and then he hung the best friend on the balcony, or the friend on the balcony. Yesterday, the girl who testified was the friend on the balcony.
Damn.
So these are stories we heard, but now they're bringing the people in themselves to speak to it. So that's,
It feels like it's been, well, at least to me, just watching, it feels like it's been a weak for the prosecution. But I don't see the defense, doing anything strong either.
I think because the defense, they cross, they do what they do. But after this, they're waiting to present their case. The government has already said that they're going to rest their case early. So I think if I'm the defense right now, I'm just ramping up my case. And already outlets have begun to talk more about who the defense will bring on as witnesses versus a little bit less about what's happening besides like basic recaps.
Yeah, but like Charlotte said, you don't want to be fatigued because you're a juror out there, and you might get to the point where you're just tired of hearing the same old stuff over and over and over again. So
I don't know why. This is my first time going actually into the court, even though I've reported on other cases. But I think it's just a thing of they want to because sometimes the bigger witnesses will mention these stories, but they don't fill in small context details.
Yeah,
and then the actual person themselves comes in and fills in things like, that we maybe didn't know, or like little small details. So they just want to make sure, again, there's no doubt whatsoever when you're a juror.
Well, what you got in the latest? Because I know it's not bad.
Yeah, in the latest, we are going to be talking about, unfortunately, we're going to be talking about DDG and Halle Bailey again, because DDG is asking a judge to stop her from taking their son out of the country because he's saying she's emotionally unstable, suicidal, and a danger to their son's safety.
Did
allegedly.
you see the stuff? You want to talk about the text messages or whatever, right?
Yes, yep. We got the docs. It took me a little minute to get to them, but I got the docs, so we have the text messages and a bunch of different things that DDG has put into his filing to try and prove what he's claiming, but also to
looks so crazy, like
yeah.
Really?
We'll get to that next. So don't go anywhere. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the latest with Loren.
Loren becoming with straight facts.
She gets them from somebody that knows somebody.
She gets the details.
I'm the homegirl that knows a little bit about everything.
She be having the latest on you.
The latest with Loren LoRosa.
Sometimes she have facts, sometimes she have details, sometimes she have a little bit of everything.
Well, it's the latest.
On the Breakfast Club.
Talk to me.
Okay, so DDG is asking a judge to stop Halle Bailey from taking their son Halo out of the country for work because he says she's emotionally unstable, suicidal, and is a danger to their son's safety and to others' safety. So DDG submitted these docs in response to some things that in response to her request to go out of the country and in response to some of the things that she had filed previously. He says that there are several instances that show all of these things that spanned over several years. So there's a bunch of text messages that he included in this doc, like a ton, photos of alleged like bruises he received from their physical altercations and different conversations that they had. But of the most alarming that he alleges in the doc, he says that on March 21st, 2024, Haley sent a ton of text messages to him. She was allegedly threatening to kill herself and suggesting that their son might be harmed as well. He says during this time she was actually driving a car, and he alleges that he was so scared for her safety because she had done or alleged and said she would do things like this to herself before, that he actually called her godmother because he was worried that their child would be in danger and that she was in danger because of the emotional state that she was in while driving. There's also an incident that he talks about. August 2023, they got into an argument of some sort, and after the argument, he alleges that Haley took his legal gun and left their home, and he got scared again for her safety, and he called his mom and his mother's fiance because he couldn't find her. So he says that his mom came, found her. They found her outside of the home, allegedly still holding the gun, and she was emotionally unwell and incoherent and potentially suicidal then. And then there is an additional time, March 22nd, that he alleges in Atlanta. He says that this was the first time that Haley threatened to harm herself with a knife. She was texting and calling him repeatedly, and I do have some of the screenshots from the document. So in one text, she's texting him, and she's, if this is her, these alleged texts, she's saying it's all his fault. She's saying, cry about it later. And this is after she would have threatened to harm herself and not live anymore. And that's a repeated cycle in these texts that he's included. And he's responding and saying, why do you want me to sit on the phone and listen to you yell at me all day? You do this to me every day. And she says, I beg for your help. I don't have anyone. I'm actively suicidal and struggling. I've been running to the doctor every day for help, and you still play in my face. I won't make it to my birthday because of you. So this is just an example of some of the type of text. I can't hear myself. Some of the type of texts that were included in this document. Now, Haley has responded.
Her name,
and she's
Loren.
actually responded.
Hallie,
sorry.
Yeah,
I can't hear.
Hallie.
No, I can't hear.
feel you.
Your headphones not up?
Yeah, my headphones are.
Charlamagne was having the same problem this morning.
It's here.
Turn them up, Loren.
First of all, it was up. It was the thing. It was already in. I'm sorry, Jess. What were you saying? Hallie?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Hallie,
yeah,
yes.
Hallie.
So Hallie, and my great grandmother's name Hallie. Okay, so Hallie has responded, and in her response, she basically is saying that it's ironic that he's just now waiting to respond. She's saying that she should be granted permission because she has to go and work. She has to make money for her child, and she also did directly address the mental health things, and she says that she alleges that DDG is exaggerating, lying, and misconstruing facts for the court, not only to make their their relationship look crazy, but to make her parenting and her mental health look away as well. She says, there's no doubt that I was emotionally devastated in 2022 and in 2023 by his behavior and ongoing abuse that she alleges. I have been very vocal about my anxiety, depression, and previous thoughts of suicide without waiving the rights of her therapist and her privilege. She says she has reached out to her doctor to receive treatments and to address these issues. And she also says that if given a chance, like if a judge takes this to court, she'll take the stand and talk about all these things, and she has nothing to hide. But it's unfair that he's right now requesting for her to not be able to take the child out of the country. And the reason why he's saying that he doesn't want the child to go out of the country is, number one, of course, all the mental health stuff that he's alleging is harmful. But he's also saying that if baby Halo goes out of the country and, God forbid something were to happen, like she goes into a mental state allegedly, or she's threatening to harm the baby, they're out of the court's jurisdiction. So there's nothing that he can do to intervene, and it could take weeks, days, or whatever before he could.
So imagine struggling with all those issues. And Jess, you can speak to this. I mean, postpartum depression is real as well.
Absolutely, it is. You don't know. Like, you don't know what your days are going to be like. You wake up, you're constantly sad, and all you want is a break from the baby. And thank God that I did have breaks, but like, it seems like even in those messages, you know what I mean? Like, she's asking him, begging him practically, like, yo, I need you to help me. You know what I mean? All you can do is be there for somebody with postpartum depression.
Yeah.
As a man, and Envy, as a man and father of four, the most important thing you can do after your lady has a baby is help. You got to help with childcare. You got to help with errands, meal prep. And if you got to go get professional help, go do that too. You just got to create an environment of support. Yeah,
but that's what I think that he's saying. And he's saying if this happens while she's overseas taping, who's there to help, or who's there to help with the kids? But
she has that though.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. And
and he's saying
but in the messages, the messages reflect that she said, I have nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's, and then Lauren, let me ask you this: did he post these, or are you able to find these? Is this public record?
So I actually was not able to find it publicly on the Pacer outlet that I go on. Right. I had to do other things to be able to get my hands on the docs. So I'm not for sure. TMZ broke the story exclusively. I don't know, because I don't work there anymore. So I don't know how these outlets, because the text messages were in the actual docs. So if you got the doc,
right?
I didn't see that he posted it. No, and also too, he did go. He did get on a stream after, and he said in the beginning of the stream, like, we're going to have positivity here. We're going to he wasn't really directly trying to speak to it, but I mean, when you include stuff like this in documents, whether it's I can't answer the question 100% if it's publicly available or not. It wasn't available to me, but it's here. So any outlet can grab it, and now it's circulating.
And I really hate that. I hate the fact that a couple can go through something and they have these documents and these text messages that are private, but they're doing it, for their own, situation, their own custody battle. But anybody can grab them, and now people can put them out and use them against them. I hate that so much. That is between those two couples. That should stay between those two couples. It ain't nobody's business. She shouldn't have to feel embarrassed. He shouldn't have to feel embarrassed. They are working it out as a couple that's separated.
Especially if you're trying to heal privately.
Correct.
You got to heal privately, but live out loud publicly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that on nobody.
I hate the fact that people can grab them docs.
this could send Haley right back into depression. You know what I mean? Because to have to be embarrassed about this is crazy. I mean, I get he can be embarrassed about it, but she can be very embarrassed about it. It's something that she experienced.
It's a court case. Yeah, they should be able to discuss the court case and things, intimate things in their court case, but it should never hit the I hate the fact that it hits the public knowledge like that.
Yeah. Well,
and just keep in mind, folks, it's a lot of emotional and mental responsibility that comes with having them babies. Okay, so think about that when you popping that poom poom for a goon. Okay, you know, when you got that penis out raw, unprotected, sticking it in, put it in them, shot up in them, deadly venom.
Popping a poom poom for a goon. I ain't never heard that one. Okay,
I like that one. I'm like, that's a bar.
I'm about to
pop it for a goon.
All right,
I'm about to pop it for a goon.
All right, you better stop. You find out Chris is going, he might get deported. You know how that goes. You know how they do.
Wow. All right, that is the latest with Loren. Now, when we come back, we got front page news, and then from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Drew Sidora will be joining us. So don't go anywhere. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You're checking out the Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. So quick sports tonight. The Pacers take on OKC. Game 1 of the NBA Finals at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I say OKC in 5. Charla, you got a prediction?
No, but I think OKC gonna win the series.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, I don't like this. I can't sleep on a team like Indiana.
No.
Like, you know, so I don't know. I would say OKC in 6, maybe 5, but I just know they're gonna win the series. I don't know what it's gonna be in.
All right. What up, Morgan?
All right, y'all, let's get back into it. So President Trump has signed a proclamation banning travel to and from 12 countries, citing security risk. Now, multiple reports say the proclamation fully restricts and limits the entry of nationals from 12 countries. The president elaborated on the ban from the Oval Office yesterday. Let's take a listen to his comments.
The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, has underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them.
So the president went on to blame, we don't want him. The president went on to blame former President Biden, citing open border policies for various attacks that have occurred over the course of time. Now, when it comes to the travel ban, the list includes Haiti, Iran, Somalia, Sudan, and others. People from 7 countries will have partial restrictions, including Cuba and Venezuela. Now, Trump reportedly was back and forth on the decision, but it also comes as Sunday's anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado, put some things in quicker motion. In other news, Secretary of Education Linda McMahon testified before the House Committee on Education and Labor about her agency's budget and priorities when she revealed that she wasn't too informed about the Tulsa Race Massacre or who Ruby Bridges was. Let's take a listen to her exchange between Pennsylvania Representative Summer Lee and the Secretary of Education. Let me repeat, Linda McMahon. Let's take a listen.
Do you know what the Tulsa Race Massacre is?
I'd like to look into it more and get back to you on it.
Okay, so I look forward to that. How about the book Through My Eyes by Ruby Bridges, for instance?
I haven't read that.
Have you learned about Ruby Bridges?
If you have specific examples you'd like
that was a specific example.
I'll be very happy.
It was an incredibly specific example. I named a specific
your questions, and I will look into it and get back to you on them.
Thank you.
So earlier this week, you had the head of FEMA who didn't know that America had a hurricane season. Now you got the Secretary of Education who don't seem to have an education.
Man, okay, so Representative Lee definitely slammed the Trump administration's anti-DEI agenda and compared it to the Jim Crow era. For those who don't know, Ruby Bridges is a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, known mostly for being the first African-American child to desegregate schools. And the Tulsa Race Massacre, also known as the Tulsa Race Riot, was a horrific act of racial violence that occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma between May 31st and June 1st, 1921, where white mobs attacked residents, homes, and businesses. I'm talking about thriving businesses in the predominantly black Greenwood neighborhood, also known as Black Wall Street. Yeah, they was hating. And in my last story, one of former President Biden's press secretary she's revealing that she has ditched the Democratic Party and is now independent. Karine Jean-Pierre made the revelation with her new book, Independent, a look inside a broken White House outside the party lines. That book is set to be released this fall. Jean-Pierre described her book about her time in Biden's White House. Let's take a listen.
This book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way? I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan.
So the publisher says Jean-Pierre will take readers through the 3 weeks that led to Biden's abandoning his bid for a second term and the betrayal by the Democratic Party that led to his decision. Now, Jean-Pierre, of course, served as White House press secretary under the Biden administration from May 2022 until the end of his presidency in January. Independent will hit shelves on October 21st. Any thoughts on Jean-Pierre switching parties?
Let's discuss. Well, she didn't switch parties. She's an independent now, right? So I respect her being independent because I feel like if you black in this country, you shouldn't be loyal to any party. You should only be voting your interests. You should only be voting for politicians who are implementing legislation and policies for your communities and your people. And if you ask me, none of these parties have done enough for us to be screaming, we Republican, our Democrat, so independent is the way to go. But when it comes to her in particular, I'm probably going to read the book, but nobody wants to hear from anyone who got up there and lied for the Biden administration. It's like a lot of these folks are having a come to Jesus moment way too late. They should have been talking like this 2 or 3 years ago. And she had a very interesting quote in her press release. The quote was, we need to be willing to exercise the ability to think creatively and plan strategically. We need to be clear-eyed and questioning rather than blindly loyal and obedient as we may have been in the past. And that right there is the problem with Democrat supporters, especially black ones, just blindly loyal and obedient for no damn reason.
I got a follow-up question regarding that quote. Do you think that is that she's in terms of her loyalty? Do you think that she's saying that she's being loyal to Biden as the president, or loyal to the office as being a press secretary for the White House? Is there a difference in being loyal to the White House and the office, or being loyal to President Biden?
You can't be loyal to either when being loyal to them would be a detriment to your country. And based off the condition that President Joe Biden was in, and she was somebody that was around him all the time, I feel like it was their duty to tell the American people what was going on. And they didn't, even though we all had eyes and we all had ears and we saw it for ourselves, but they were the ones that were up close and personal with him all the time, and they all were in on the conspiracy to hide his physical and mental condition from America, and that's why they lost the election. Well, one of the many reasons why they lost the election.
Clock it, brother. Tell them why you mad. All right, y'all. So that's your front page news. Y'all can follow me on socials at Morgan Media, MorgynMedia. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Now, when we come back, Drew Sidora will be joining us. You know her from the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we'll kick it with her next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. LoRosa is here as well. And we got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
You know her from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Sidora. Welcome.
Oh, snap. Good morning, y'all.
How you feeling?
Drew, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I actually have been in New York for a couple days. So the city's been showing me love. I'm not tired. I'm awake.
You are.
I'm here with y'all.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How's your energy? How's your energy?
My energy is better. I've been going through a lot, but I feel like where y'all have seen me for the past 2 years, I'm definitely in a more healed place. Yeah.
When did you get to that place?
Honestly, working on my album was like my therapy. So I think that just being able to get all of those emotions out and just do something productive and put it all on paper and leave it there, that was a big part of my healing journey.
Break it down for people that don't know what you're talking about, because a lot of people might not watch the Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay.
So she was on Housewives of Atlanta. You recently got a divorce, a separation.
Well, it's not official yet.
A separation.
I'm still going through
the process.
Which is a weird separation, because he lives in the basement.
Yes.
And you live upstairs.
Yes.
And you're not allowed downstairs.
Yes. And he's been there for some time.
And he's not allowed to come upstairs unless I grant him access. It's just like, I've never heard of this. Like, I don't know anybody else that I can say, girl, how did you deal with this? I've never heard of this, and I did not know that would ever be something the judge would rule on. So it makes it extra complicated. It's already hard enough. Divorce is already tough enough, but to run into each other in the driveway
That's
or
weird.
you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. You have no idea.
Well, how did it even come to that point? That who said that this how it should be? Like, because I've never heard of that. Did
right.
he say I want to live and I want to remain in the house? And like, how did that happen?
He was basically like, I'm not leaving. Like his attorneys were like, yeah, he's not going to leave the premises. And so, have you seen that movie World of Roses?
Water Roses.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, right? It's like that in real life, where it's the asset in the marriage. And so what I've been learning through this process, like, it's love and it's like pure bliss. And we built this beautiful family and we're building legacy. And then all of a sudden we're going through a divorce and now it's all business. It's like, a negotiation of, so the asset being the house, it's a big deal, And so I would love to just split everything. Like, hey, 50-50, keep it simple and we can be done. But he's like, I want everything. I want the house. I want 40% of your business that I've had since 2005. It's my company, And he's coming for that. And it's just.
How did y'all get there,
mess.
though? What started the separation? People assumed it was cheating. People assumed it was so many different things. How did y'all get there?
Let's go, girl.
I watched the show with
I like when you get in your bag. I like when you get in your real housewife bag. I like when you get in your real housewife bag, daddy. When you be scrambling and scrambling in your real housewife bag. I like that, daddy.
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you know everything. So then you watched it.
Explain to people. So what happened?
Right. So a lot. So we lived in Chicago. I'm from Chicago originally, born and raised. And we lived there for some time, and it was a lot of women. It was a lot of women. The whole finding things in your phone or finding, I got family. Like, it's family. Everybody knows we live here. People seeing you out, sir, at dinner with women. So it was a lot of that.
So you were in his phone?
I did at one point.
Why you so nosy?
Excuse me?
Why can't you let him and his women be?
Wow.
Charlotte.
I need to ask you some questions now. You know what?
At first I thought it was because he just don't watch the show. Then I'm like, oh no, he trying to get her.
He being the clown.
Aren't you from South Carolina?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all might be cousins.
Really?
I think so. I think he's from Hugie.
Oh yeah, Hugie. Hugie right by Monk's Corner. Right by
Monk's he got a lot of cousins. You remember cousin Courtney on the show?
Oh yeah, he don't know cousin Courtney.
Oh, you just see. I don't.
So wait, so back then, so that was in Chicago. You found her, but then y'all moved to Atlanta. You forgave him.
I did. Because let me tell you. So my parents were married for 60 years till my dad passed away. So I grew up in a household, where I saw people choose each other every day, fight. Makeup, that was just what I saw. So that's what I wanted for myself. So when I got married, it was like, this is what we go through. We're going to talk about it, communicate, and move forward. So yes, I did forgive him. We moved to Atlanta, and he left and went to Tampa for 3 days. Everyone saw that on national TV. But it was embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like, you leave your family and you don't tell us where you went. And it was more so because it was public, and humiliation and embarrassment. And I think that was tough.
That was the last straw? That was it for you?
It was that, and it was just the continuous behavior of like dealing with other women and then coming on the show. And then there was women saying, oh, they were pregnant. There was a particular woman who reached out and said she was pregnant with his baby. And that was a big thing. That was probably one of the biggest straws. And then it was the disrespect of my mom, of my family, the disrespect of my son Jojo, my 14-year-old. So it was just very layered. And finally, he moved out of the bedroom. So we separated, and we were separated at the time. So it was a huge separation. We were trying to repair things, but ultimately it just wasn't able to be repaired.
And people thought you cheated at one time.
Well, that's what he says. It was almost like, oh, she's hanging out and having fun. Oh, this is my moment, And now it flipped to like a victim mentality when that really wasn't what it was.
And it's Pride Month, so they thought it was a girl.
Oh,
well, they thought that before this month.
Oh,
yeah. But I heard you talk about it on Carlos King.
Yeah.
And that was my first time actually hearing you explain it the way you did. Yeah. So he had alleged that you were dating a woman at the time, and that's who you were cheating with. And you said at the time you were going through so much with him that you would have taken attention from a cardboard box.
I said that.
Please talk about that.
Is it cheating if it's eating?
What are we eating?
What is the matter with you, girl? Lord.
Just the comic relief of the situation that you need. I mean,
Sorry,
I wouldn't say there was eating. We were hanging out. That's still my girl to this day. Like, we're still friends. But I think it was extra sauce placed on it. I will say, okay, flirting, yeah. Like, I'll be honest about
A little
that.
nibble?
A little nibbled on some food. We went to dinner.
Oh, okay.
We was
There we
eating
go.
at the dinner table, but all of the extra stuff, I mean, you have to really watch the show and know who Ralph is. He is very much a narcissist, and that's who I married. That's who I chose to love. But at the end of the day, what happened. People have actually witnessed it, the disrespect. So to say, okay, I'm hanging with this woman and now it's a relationship, that just came out of nowhere. There was never any evidence. Where's the receipt? Like, people can say things. Does it make it true? People say things about you, Is everything true?
Not everything, but
Not
a lot
everything.
of things are true
50%.
about him.
Well, listen, how do you balance healing in private when your pain is being monetized on reality TV?
Honestly, that time that we did not come right back on the show, I was actually grateful because that was the time I took just to self. Like, I spent my time alone. I just completely shut down and I did a lot of praying. And like I said, honestly, people may not have understood why I said Dennis was my angel on earth. But really I was very grateful because it was a blessing at that time to have somewhere to go. A lot of times, like, I didn't want to wake up and get out the bed. It's like, you just don't feel productive. Like, overwhelmed, depression is real. So, it was just knowing that I have people supporting me, believing in me, and are rooting for me. And I had to show up, for that. And when I got to the studio, it's like, okay, I made it, and then being able to compile all this body of work and have a productive outlet, like I said, it was exactly what I needed to get me to the other side where I am now.
We're still kicking it with Drew Sidora. You know her from the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Loren.
Looking back, because your project is here, the music is here, but looking
yes.
back on it, you brought up the Dennis Angel on Earth comment, and that the people had conversations about that for a while.
I know. It was crazy.
Look grimy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You look shady when it first came out. Because it came out that you were working with Porsche's
Dennis?
Yes.
What other Dennis is out here? Yes, Porsche's Dennis.
I thought it's the shock for me. It's the utter shock.
Because girl,
Remember we had the conversation with Portia about this whole thing?
I get it
now
now,
this
I remember.
is...
And it was assumed that you did it
back
behind Porsche's back without talking to Portia.
Yeah.
But that wasn't
That
true.
didn't happen like that. See, there we go. See, we gotta talk about it.
Gotta clear it
that's
up.
not how it happened. So, actually, this is during the time Portia was living her African princess life. You saw it. She was in Dubai. She was in Nigeria. She wasn't checking for her girls. I was calling her. So on the record, I called Portia a bunch of times
to tell her that you were going to work with Dennis.
Yes, like why wouldn't I? Dennis had been reaching out for years, like come be an ambassador for Nayeg. Let's, it was like no. But because of what I was going through, this is my selfish season, okay? And the music was good because I was like, Dennis, hot dogs. Music? Like, I was confused like everybody else, right? I was. But when he sent my team the music, it was like, this is really good. Like, I need to do this music. That's how it felt for me. So, when I was calling her and I was texting her, I have the receipts. I'll show them at reunion. I was like, girl, I need to talk to you. Like, it's really, really important. Bunch of text. She wasn't responding to you, girl, like, at all. Crickets. So, when she did come back and we did talk, we were in the studio. Dennis would be talking to her. And she's like, send me some songs. She's like, oh, this is my favorite song. This is my favorite song. So I'm like, okay, Portia, you told me he had a conversation, so she's cool. We talked 2 weeks before we started filming. And she was like, yes, girl, I know. We're going through our divorces. We need to get together. I love the music. I was like, okay, because, I wanted to make sure, like, we're all family. It's all, yes, girl, I know. Like, it's all good. Let's hang out. A week before we filmed, oh, sorry I didn't come to your birthday party, girl. But let's turn up tonight, you, me, and Yandy. Let's go out for drink. That was the energy. So we go to Shamia's birthday party. That's why I was so flabbergasted.
So
I didn't have
came
nothing
on,
to say.
You said it was a different story.
It was like a light switch. It was like, what? But if you notice, when we were at Shamia's party, it was like, I'm mad at you because you're working with Dennis. Then it switched to, well, you're filming with Dennis. And then it was like a go naked thing. So I was not clear on why she was upset and what the real beef was. But as you've seen the season, I just see, the fans are smart. Like, shout out to the fans because they're seeing like, no, we kind of catching her up in some lies here. That's not actually how it happened. And it's seeming more like deflection because you can't talk about a certain person. So she chose to talk about me, because she couldn't. And she has said that. She couldn't talk about
You feel like she did it for the cameras?
You need story. But I mean, you need to have things going on in your personal life. Like, why is everything about what I got going on?
It's hard to watch sometimes because you don't know if it's real shade, if it's real smoke, or if it's just a storyline.
No. Everything I do is real. I came on the show in an Achilles rupture boot. Like, I came on the show limping. Like, that's not how I want to come on. I want to come in with my, like, Louboutins, and be fabulous. And I wanted to show black love and marriage and all the beauty and all that. I didn't want to show this. So everything that I've shown has just been my real life. I've not ever produced anything or tried to give storyline because, like, I've been working since I was 8 years old. I don't need to put on for cameras. That's not me. Some people may. Like, that's what some people may do. And I feel like in this situation, instead of Portia opening up about, like, her real feelings without talking about that particular person, she didn't need to deflect it and make me her punching bag. I think that was probably the most hurtful part because, like, I'm going through a lot too.
Did y'all have a real conversation? Because it made you look crazy to the public at first when she got on there and says, "You supposed to be my friend, but you working with my ex," and I had no idea. Did y'all have a conversation after that?
We did. We had to sit down. It didn't go very well. It didn't go
Which
well.
one are you talking about? Because Grenada.
The sit down when she walked out when we were drinking tea.
Yes.
It escalated.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like true resolve, but yeah, no. It's like Portia is not the person, as you have seen, that will communicate. You know, she's going to get up and walk away. She's going to cover with all of this happiness. Like, she got it. And that's not real. And I think everyone was anticipating her to come back this season and was excited. But ultimately, she couldn't deliver on the story that we thought we were getting. You know, we thought we were getting Miss Guadia, and she couldn't bring that.
Oh, so you don't think Portia's been delivering this season? What you're saying?
I mean, that's just what I feel. You know, that's my personal opinion, is that this wasn't a real beef. So then what are we talking about? Like, let's talk about something real. You get, you know, two women together who are strong, who are bosses in their own right, have a conversation. We're not going to agree on everything, but we don't need to make this the whole thing we're talking about for the whole season. Me and Dennis?
Yeah.
The whole season? Aren't y'all tired about that?
That's why I hate reality
Aren't y'all
TV.
tired of hearing about that?
That's why in a lot of ways I hate reality TV, because they will monetize your trauma for pain. Like what you might be going through with your divorce, or what Portia might be going through. It's just like, damn. And then if they can't get that, they just want to pitch y'all against each other.
I don't like it.
What's the point of doing it?
Exactly. That's how I feel. Like, we're both going through a divorce. We could be talking about that. You know what I mean? And really everything doesn't have to be like a moment. And I think, you know, you see some girls that come on the show and it's just like, I need a moment. Let me just say something to go viral or whatever. And it's like, no, just be yourself. And I think that's also how I've been able to be on now for 4 seasons. And that's just what I've learned, because it's been a lot of cash shakeups. Like, I don't even know how I'm still here, because it's been people that were here, been here for a long time, and are no longer here. But what I've learned from the OGs that have poured into me is just be yourself, you know, and the story will tell itself.
So I just want another question. So you're not with her Go Naked hairline?
I literally was about to ask. So that's not Go Naked hair.
This right now?
Yes.
No, this looks good. The hair that I was wearing in the sit down, where you saw the bangs, that's I wore it in real time, because when you put it through a 1-2 edit, how I made it looked great. But in person, y'all saw it, right? That's how that was Go Naked there.
So are you an ambassador for Go Naked?
No.
You're not an
no, I have a
ambassador.
great vendor. She's melted. We're good.
So you don't like Go Naked hair, is what you're saying?
I mean, it just didn't work for me per se. When you go to bleach blonde it did something that wasn't right.
Would you have said that prior to all this Dennis stuff? Because I thought you were it was like a good partnership.
It was.
And in the beginning of the season, you said you thought you were doing numbers for Go Naked.
I did do numbers. I did do numbers.
Did the
That's
product
why.
change?
Well, I just believe, like, as Black women, we support each other, right? If you're my girl, I'm going to support you. We have a great working relationship. It was fun. You know, it was fun to work with her at that time. And if that's your friend, you're going to hold your friend down. But it was just when all of this started to happen, it just became corny to me. You know, so I'm like, okay, well, now since you're going to drag me, well, I'm going to speak my truth then. Because the truth is, like, I had your back, but if you don't have my back, now it's fair game.
No, you were saying, all right, let me be honest about this hair.
Yeah, I'll be
then, since
honest.
now
Yeah. I would rather go naked than to wear that hair again.
You think the show would still be interesting if you and Portia weren't beefing, or is like tension just part of the paycheck now?
I mean, I came on the show. Let me make it clear, because I've been an actress since I was literally like in grade school, right? So I made a decision, because I was like, you know what? People know me from this role. They may not like me from this role or that movie or whatever. I felt going through COVID, it was just an opportunity to be more vulnerable and let the fans really get to know me and see me as a mother and a wife and a friend and a sister. Like, I'm so many other things, and I wanted to show that. And so that was the reason for me joining the show. It wasn't to do anything but just hopefully inspire other people going through what I'm dealing with and connect in that way. So it wasn't to show what is happening. Like, that was opposite of what I wanted to represent on this platform. So I've never subscribed to, let's do this for a moment, you know, let's do this for storyline. I actually feel like when we used to watch Housewives and when it was nostalgic was because it was a group of women who were really friends. And when you saw them fall out, it was because I'm fighting you because I love you and I know you can be better. You can do so much more.
Yeah.
So that was where the beefs came, and then they were able to resolve and move forward. And I feel like here, sometimes they just want to like kill you off, you know?
Yeah.
They want to just like go below the belt. It's like, dang, like, do you like me or not? Like, what are we building or not? And so that's what I would like to see the show get back to. And I think this season, overall, it was refreshing. It wasn't dark. You know, as some of the fans have said, like they felt like the show was going dark. So I think we're moving towards a more positive place.
We're still kicking it with Drew Sidora from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Jess.
So you don't see a resolve for you and this girl at all. You and Portia. You don't see at all. Because you said you want to see the show get back to, you know, what that was. What it used to be. Women were able to have their arguments, go through it, talk it out, and then they're cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't ever see you and Portia like, you know what? Let's just put all this behind us, because it did get crazy. It did. Yeah. But all right, we're women. We both bosses. We like, you don't see that?
In certain cases, it's hard to come back from certain things. And just putting out falsities that's like damaging to my character, to me as a person. You know, I have kids, so I just feel like the line has been crossed one too many times. However, I feel like, you know, if there's an opportunity to have a real conversation, and it may not happen on camera, I don't know.
I mean off camera.
I'm really big on like resolution. I'm really big on gaining understanding and like moving forward. So if it is an opportunity that presents itself, I would be open to that. But it hasn't happened, and it's a year now, you know.
I want to ask some questions about you, Drew. You've been in this game since you were a kid. How do you think Hollywood's perception of you has changed, and how has your own perception of yourself changed?
Oh, good. Well, you know, I feel like on the side of like the theatrical, you know, TV and film, I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish. You know, in my career, sometimes I don't reflect enough and like, wow, you know, I've been able to work with some amazing actors and some amazing projects and tell some amazing stories. But the game is like, that's one project that I just feel like the public perceives me in that way, and I can't shake it. And it's like, what decade? Has it been a decade?
Yeah.
Now? I mean, I still see the comments to this day, which is saying, okay, this was obviously something really big and a part of the culture. But I did see a hashtag where it was like, hashtag cancel the Drew Sidora hate. And I just want to say, can we do that, please? Like, at the end of the day, this has gone on too long. Derwin lied to Drew Sidora. Like, did we not all watch the same show?
You feel like the hate carried from there?
Oh, most definitely. Like, I see the comments, I'm like, wow. And I've met people that's like, oh, I'm mad at you because you broke up med school. And I'm like, you know, Tia was married, right? You know, Pooch, like, as a whole family. But people were very invested in the show, and I just think that's a perception people have of me, you know, despite all the various roles I've played, which is why I did join the show to try to change that narrative. And I think for myself, yes, my perception of self is I have so many things I want to do. I want to do Broadway. I want to direct. I'll produce my first film and continue to open the door for other young talent coming up. And so that's where I'm moving into of my contribution stage in life and wanting to really see others win as well in this business.
I think the thing with the game was, right, everybody else had fictional names, but you really went on there as Drew Sidora. Like, you why was that?
Shout out to Mara Brockakil.
Shout out to her. We just had her up here.
I love that woman, you know. Actually, so the story behind that is I booked Girlfriends. I did an episode of Girlfriends. And when I went on set, she remembered meeting me, coming to my home, because my sister Allison has been my manager since I was like 8 years old. And so she came to the house to meet my sister. My sister was a writer on Amen, Rock, Martin, worked from William Morris Agency. Like OG, right? And so she came to my sister's house to see if she would share her Rolodex, because she was moving to Los Angeles to become a producer. And she's like, Drew, when you were 8, you were running around the house talking about, I'm gonna be an actress and a singer. And she's like, and you really like stuck with it. And so for that reason, let's talk about some bigger things. So she wrote me in the show, The Game. So that's how it came to be. And it was really like an honor, because I'm like, you gotta be like A-list, right, to play yourself. So to have the opportunity, I was like, wow, and to showcase my music. I think that was one of the first times that people took notice to me as an actual musical artist.
Well, you got I Did It To Me. Your music is out, and I watched. You said that your music was like your healing when you were going through the divorce, because you were in such a dark place.
Yeah.
What song on your album was like, when you hear it now, you get tearful? It takes you there. It's your favorite?
It's two. Definitely I Did It To Me and Love for a Minute with Sierra. Shout out to Sierra Gates. She came and laid like a 8-bar little situation. We was in a booth. It was very Sierra
I thought you was
Gates.
talking about Russell Wilson Sierra. You talking about Sierra Gates?
Oh, girl. Speak it.
I know Sierra was rapping.
She was rapping. That's a lot of people don't know she came in, but it's a very emotional record, and that was the record that actually Dennis and I were in the studio, and it was like really emotional. He was over there crying about Portia, and I was in there having my moment. But it's an emotional record. But I did it to me as very representative of the project because it's about taking accountability, and that's why I love that record, because I can sit here and share, with you guys all the things that my ex did, right, that weren't right, but it gets tiring after a while to keep blaming everything on the other person. So for me, it's like, no, I played a part. There were things I could have done better, if I'm being honest. And so that's what the song is saying, like, look in the mirror. It's not easy to do, but you got to sometimes look at yourself and say, okay, yeah, I made a mistake here, there, and I could have been better, and then grow from that.
Do you let him know that?
I have. Actually, we have had conversations, before we go to court, because when you go to court, that's when everything blows back up. But we've had conversations where we have stated, we understand our differences now. And I can say, well, I could have done this better. And he has said it, and apologize in some areas. And yeah, like, we're humans, and just being more gentle with ourselves and just forgiving each other doesn't erase everything and every pain that we caused. But yeah, we can be honest and say, I wasn't perfect. I can say that.
And every time I watch your interviews, you're breaking down in the interviews every single time. And I'm wondering, like, why put more stuff out there? Like Michael B. Jordan, have you spoke to him since the Carlos King interview?
Oh my God.
That was a question.
Michael Jordan.
That was a big. I'm like,
What happened
whoa.
with Michael B. Jordan?
So in Carlos King's interview, Carlos King asked her who's one of the most like famous people she's dated, and she mentioned that she used to date Michael B. Jordan back in the day. And that was everywhere. I'm like, whoa, she just be volunteering the info.
Well, I get asked the question.
Did you hit?
No, not even a little bit. He asked me on a date to go attend the NAACP Awards. It was probably like 2000, maybe 6, when he was like still on the soap operas.
Okay.
And I met his mom and stuff. It was cool. We went out a couple of days. There was no like intimacy on the record, but still, he was very, very sweet guy, very, very sweet, and he's been super successful. But yeah, that's my truth, and it happened.
It's yours to tell.
It happened,
This is my last question. With all the healing that you've gotten, right, and what you know now, if you could go back and whisper something to yourself during the hardest moment of your marriage, what would you say?
The hardest part of my marriage, I think Ralph moving out of the bedroom, that it felt like abandonment. You know what I mean? It's different to like go sleep separately but him making the decision to move out instead of fighting, because people don't stay married forever without waking up every day and choosing each other. So when the person wakes up and doesn't choose you, yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you for joining us. It's Drew Sidora.
Yes.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Absolutely. We got to get Portia in the studio because Drew do records. What was the other young lady that was up here? Shamia. We got to get Portia in the studio, man.
To do a record?
Going back to music again?
She did music before. You don't remember that video?
No.
I got to show it to you.
I have no problem watching the Portia video. Pull that up, Red.
Somebody
pull
I
that
can
up.
never see it. Yeah, we gotta see it.
I'll show it to you on the break. Well, let's get to the latest with Loren.
Loren be coming with straight facts.
She gets them from somebody that knows somebody.
She gets the details.
I'm the homegirl that knows a little bit about everything.
She be having the latest on this.
The latest with Loren LoRosa.
Sometimes she have facts, sometimes she have details, sometimes she have a little bit of everything.
What was the latest?
On the Breakfast Club.
Talk to me. Well, speaking of Portia Williams and Nene Leakes may be rekindling. The girls might be getting back together. Portia was on her YouTube channel and she was taking fan questions and they asked her about Nene. Let's take a listen.
Portia said that she would be open to reconciling with you.
Would you reconcile with Nene? Listen, life is short. That's what I say. Life is short. This year, a lot of the cast and me personally have had a lot of loss in my family. And so life is short. And so the right situation, the right conversation can absolutely be had. I don't think there's anything there is this completely to the point to where, there couldn't be a conversation.
Yes. Now that's a step in the right direction. But then Nene Leakes was on her show, the Nene Leakes Show, and she was asked about Portia's comments and, her response. Let's take a listen to that.
Portia said that she would be open to reconciling with you.
Well, of course you would, sweetheart, because I never did to you in the first place. When I said what I said about Portia, I say it again. What happened, happened. Yes. Like, I'm not one of those people who just walk around in my everyday life just lying about stuff. Yeah. Like, it just don't work for me. I said what I said. It was the truth. It really happened. She was going through a divorce with Simon. And I think she said something like, I didn't check on her or something like that. Girl, this ain't your first divorce. Maybe I could have checked on her. I honestly didn't even think about it like that. Somebody that maybe missed it once or twice, to get them a little grace. Who knows what they were going through that day? Yeah. I don't have a problem with reconciling with Portia, but I'm going to tell about herself first, honey. So when do you want to have drinks so we can fix this Portia?
Nothing wrong with that.
At all.
It's not like they 50 in Ja Rule. They can feel like they can smooth that over.
Exactly. And if, for those of you guys who do not remember, they had fell out when Portia was going through her divorce with Simon, and she said that Nene didn't check in on her little sis, and Nene had said that Portia didn't want to film with her at one point, and she alleged that Portia just was distancing herself, and she tried to reach out to Portia, and Portia responded with the cold shoulder, not wanting to deal with her anymore. So they've been rocky since then, and they've thrown their little blows, but good to hear that. But I would love to know if Portia is open to sitting down and having those drinks, like, immediately, and if she's going to push for Nene to be back on the show.
But these ladies were really never friends, right? I mean, the show put them together, and now they're quote-unquote best of friends.
Not true.
Do you think Portia and
Shamia.
Do you think she's sitting down with Drew?
No. Portia's not sitting down with Drew no time soon, especially not after the interview we just had with Drew.
And Shamia made it seem like they were a force fit, but other than those two, they're not really friends.
You know, Nene made me think, though, are all divorces different? Because she said that this ain't your first time being divorced. So if you are, like, let's say you're friends with Kim Kardashian, right? Kim Kardashian's been divorced, 4 times?
Yeah.
So she gets married again and gets divorced again. Do you check on her? It is kind of a point, right? Like, you've been through this before.
You've been down this road already, yeah?
Do you? I don't know. Are all divorces different? I've never been divorced.
I don't want to know.
I would say so. Yeah.
Probably so, depending on the circumstances and stuff like that. And I was going to say... No, it's my segment. I'm going to talk.
Talk. Speak up.
Thank you.
We don't want to hear nothing from Loren about no relationships. We haven't gone down that road in a while, but nothing has changed. That's all I'm saying. That's the only reason I was like...
I was going to say, as an avid housewife watcher...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you don't even know Shamia's name, so you should...
Okay.
As an avid housewife watcher... We watched the different divorces, and I think this one, even though they're all public, it was a really big deal because it came out of nowhere. She was all happy, and then the next day it was just over. But again...
That and the fact that John had deported him, right?
I mean, yeah, but
Ice got him.
She stepped away before that, and then Simon.
Oh. I'm like, damn, they just deporting all types of people on that show. What is that, Real Housewives of...
Well, Portia, call us. Let me know if this reunion is happening or not, because, yeah, we need to know what's going on. But moving on, speaking of the girls getting together, Glorilla has announced a release date for her sample of Keisha Cole's Love. She says, That's My Type of N-Word is going to be coming this Friday. And she already has a pre-save
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Friday. The pre-save link is already in her bio, and this is the song that she's been kind of teasing since Coachella.
I
can't wait for that to drop.
Glorilla be going.
Big Glow don't miss. You hear me? Wow. Okay, Splash Sister with the shot. Okay.
And Keisha Cole
singing. How's Yo Gotti singing?
What that singing? That was a sample. I thought
she sampled Love, and I think those are her vocals over it. Maybe I don't know.
Like
you said, was it Gotti singing?
That sounded like Keisha.
Can we hear it again? This is Slow Down.
They just changed the pitch.
Yeah.
Changed the pitch.
Oh, it's chopped and screwed?
All right, what else you got?
I was going to just say that Keisha Cole actually told us exclusively here that was going down when she came here to talk to us.
She cleared it.
Yep, she told us that she cleared it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so now we will see that Friday. I'm looking forward to it. That's it for the hours.
All right, well, we'll see you next hour. What?
We got to be quiet.
Did you find out that the clips were never signed at Def Jam?
Did you get off my... It's a new day. God has granted another 24 hours. We're going to focus.
Okay, let's make a show.
All right. She almost said get off my...
I did. I couldn't, though. I remember where I was at. I remember. I collected and gathered myself.
Look, I just know they was texting you a lot after the...
I didn't get a text. I didn't.
All right.
Cap. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, Donkey today.
Loren is a trusted source, and people trust her.
Yes.
Sources trust her.
Yes.
In order to be a trusted source, sources must trust her.
I know that ate you up. Say that again.
Spit everywhere.
Please go wipe down that mic.
Yes.
Who you giving your donkey to, man?
Linda McMahon, the education secretary, needs to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with her, please.
All right, we'll get to that next. And also, Jess Fix My Mess. If you need relationship problems, if you need some advice, you can call Jess right now. 800-585-1051. Jess Fix My Mess is coming up in a little bit. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You're checking out The Breakfast Club.
This is America.
There is no question that there are problems in this country between police and community.
Yes, you are a donkey.
The latest on that police killing of a black man.
Now to new developments in the deadly spa shooting rampage.
And yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
And so we are in a state of emergency.
Okay, white supremacist violence is and always has been the number one threat to our society.
But I'm also very proud that my wife is white.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Well, donkey of the day for Thursday, June 5th goes to Education Secretary Linda McMahon. Yes, Linda McMahon, former CEO of WWE, is the United States Secretary of Education. What is the Secretary of Education? Well, the Secretary is responsible for the overall direction, supervision, and coordination of all activities of the Department of Education, and she is the principal advisor to the President on federal policies, programs, and activities related to education in America. Now, what qualifications does Linda McMahon have to be in this role? Some would say that her qualifications are thinner than my hairline. Okay, she has had 2 years on Connecticut State Board of Education, many years on the Board of Trustees of Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, and 2 years as chief of the U.S. Small Business Administration, and she's run 2 unsuccessful campaigns for U.S. Senator, and during that campaign, she proved that she didn't know much about government. So when she got the role of Secretary of Education, plenty of people knew she wouldn't be mistaken for a great educator. So what ended up getting her the job as education secretary? Well, her one main qualification was she was caked up. Oh, she had that bread. She made a lot of money by being the CEO of WWE. She was married to Vince McMahon for 58 years. So, you know, having that kind of money got her close to people like Donald Trump. And now Trump is president. So he said, hey, Linda, come run this department that I'm talking about shutting down or dismantling. Now, I had to give you a little backstory on Linda so you understand why she is getting donkey of the day today, okay? In a recent Senate hearing, Linda McMahon was tasked with defending the Trump administration's 2026 education budget. Now, keep in mind, like a lot of people in Trump's administration, folks have said Linda is not qualified for the role she is in, okay? People have said she's out of her depth and ill-informed about the Department of Education, the department she is currently leading. Well, this Senate hearing didn't help. Okay, it was a lot of math mishaps and historical hiccups. Would you like to hear it? Let's start with some of the math mishaps first.
Secretary McMahon, of course, testified before the Senate today, and Republican senators kind of did their level best to lob her softball questions and make it look like she kind of knows what she's doing.
What was we ranked nationally in math and reading in 1979?
We were very, very low on the totem pole.
Or number one in 1979.
Jesus.
We were very, very low on the totem pole. Actually, we were number one. Very awkward. That's the Secretary of Education, everyone.
Simple question. You were asked where we were ranked in math in 1979. We were number one. That's not hard to understand, okay? All right, let's stay on the math. There was a math problem in there, right? Let's listen.
We spend $1.858 billion a year on TRIO.
Yes.
That's $1,580 million a year. So my math right?
I think that's right, sir.
And how long have we been spending $1,580 million a year on this program? More than 10 years?
Yes.
So that's over $1 trillion.
Okay. I understand that we was not ranked number one in math recently either, but something there seems off, right? Don't have to be a mathematician. Maybe there's a Democrat on this committee who can help them out a little bit.
Madam Secretary, and I'm not a great mathematician, but I think you were talking about $1 trillion. I believe 1.5 billion times 10 is $15 billion. That's a little bit off from $1 trillion. But
I think the budget cuts $1.2 billion for TRIO.
Well, 1.2, that would be $12 billion, not $1 trillion.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Can we do some historical hiccups while we're here? Let's do some historical hiccups.
Do you know what the Tulsa Race Massacre is?
I'd like to look into it more and get back to you on it.
Okay, so I look forward to that. How about the book Through My Eyes by Ruby Bridges, for instance?
I haven't read that.
Have you learned about Ruby Bridges?
If you have specific examples you'd like
That was a specific example.
I'll be very happy.
It was an incredibly specific example.
I named your questions, and I will look into it and get back to you on them.
Thank you.
Lord have mercy. What about when she was questioned about DEI programs? That's the Holocaust one.
Do you think that Holocaust education in our schools is a DEI program? There's no card for that. That's just yes or no.
I can look at it, whatever card.
Holocaust education, is it a DEI? You can have a press conference to say whatever you want. I just need a quick answer to this.
Your soliloquy.
Is Holocaust, because this is my time, is Holocaust education a DEI program?
No.
Is African American Studies a DEI program?
I think I answered that with one.
I'm asking it again.
Listen, we should
just yes or no.
We should be able to teach courses.
My point is they are DEI programs, both of them, because students need diversity, equity, and inclusion to understand their environments. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You can't support one without supporting the other.
Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but it's safe to say she has no idea what she's talking about, okay? And she's the Secretary of Education. These aren't isolated incidents, ladies and gentlemen. Linda McMahon has previously referred to artificial intelligence as A1, okay? A1 is a delicious steak sauce, okay? Not AI, all right? And listen, one thing the Trump administration has not done yet in its second term is prove people wrong, okay? Linda McMahon is not qualified to be Department of Education, but we knew this. Soon as it was announced, okay, I don't understand the attack on DEI. The basis of it is people aren't qualified for their jobs. They're just getting them because of their identity. Hello, what's the difference here? Okay, Linda got this job because she's friends with Donald Trump. If you identify as a loyalist to Trump, you get these kinds of positions. So what I really hate is when people say things like, this Senate hearing is casting doubt on her ability to lead the Department of Education effectively. Casting doubt? Listen, having Linda McMahon as Secretary of Education, that's like giving DJ Academics 2 bottles of Hennessy and asking him to run a quiet meditation retreat. Okay? Linda, you can't go in front of the Senate and get put in a crippler crossface by basic math. Okay? Linda can script the Undertaker coming back from the dead, but can't script a coherent answer to how numbers work. I'm not saying everybody in government needs to be a genius, but if you're going to run education, you should probably know how to count and maybe, just maybe, understand a little bit of America's history. I know that Linda McMahon being Secretary of Education is fantastic content for, late night talk show hosts and morning show radio hosts. But America, the implications for the nation's education system are no laughing matter. Okay, perhaps it's time to consider whether the role of Education Secretary should require, at the very least, a firm grasp on elementary math. Please let Chelsea Handler give the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. That is way too much Dan mayonnaise.
All right.
First, it was the head of FEMA not knowing that America had a hurricane season. Now it's Linda McMahon not knowing basic math and what should be basic history.
That lady was on her ass, though. Like,
What?
Oh, no, they was eating her up. They was eating her up. Representative Johanna Hayes and Representative Summer Lee, they was on her head.
She tried to hit him with the, I don't recall. I have to do some research to get back at you.
Baby, I'm asking again. So say it again.
But they were just proving a point. They were just spiking the football. They know that woman is not qualified to be in that role. They were just proving it in that moment. Again.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today. Up next, Jess Fix My Mess. 800-585-1051. You're having some problems, some issues in your relationship. Call Jess right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
X about me.
Relationship problems?
X about me.
You need to beat your coworker's ass.
X about me.
Your coworker need to beat your ass? Call it up. It's Dr. Jess, and I'm here to fix your mess. It's getting very much messy. Let me fix it.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. It's time for Jess Fix My Mess. Jasmine.
Yes.
Hey, what's your question for Jess?
Sorry. Oh, hi. I'm calling from Buffalo, New York. I'm in love with 2 dudes. I've been with one dude for 5 years, real toxic. Then I got with somebody else for 6 months, and The dude I've been with for 6 months, he be treating me like way better than the ex, but I'm still like locked in with my ex, and it's just I've been balancing both for the past 2 weeks, and I really don't know what to do.
You got to leave one alone, especially the toxicity. I mean, is sex better with one than the other?
Yes, the ex is way better and bigger than the one that's short and stumpy. But I mean,
God damn, Jesus Christ.
If I was being honest, I got to do extra work with the new one. But
damn,
yeah, but is the toxicity worth the good D? I mean, like you got to choose. You got to choose the one. That's
it's really not, because my ex. The reason why me and my ex broke up the last time, he sent me a video of him having sex with another girl, like to get me mad. But
that's petty. So
to be honest, it didn't really. Huh?
He's a clown. He's a clown for that. You can't do that.
Yeah. So
you gotta leave him alone. Do y'all got kids together?
No, we don't. We've been together for 5 years, but do my thing, have fun, get 3, 4 more for the summer. Clarification, my bad.
Yeah, listen, leave him alone. But listen, if you like both, if this is the life that you want for yourself, by all means. But you called me, so I'm letting you know. Leave
I just didn't want, when he sent me that video, some girls could have got traumatized, and what I did was, I went out. You're not gonna scare me from that. I watched it in full detail. I watched it from first to end. Like, so this is what you was doing. Let me get that out. Okay. Some girls could have cried and really been down about that, but I turned myself around, turned my phone upside down.
Look, I love it. You don't need your mess fixed. You good. You good. Keep living your life.
And I put my alone. I can't wait to see you at the Helium Club.
I love you. I'm gonna see you later on.
All right.
She turned into lemonade.
She should have just replied back, "Thank you." Then. And if you're gonna do that, why not get your little threesome thing on?
Exactly. She seemed to love this. She loved this.
What was it? Sexing me? What Biggie say? Sexing me while your man masturbates, and then did he go, You know what I'm saying?
They the only type of lyrics you quote. You with glee, like you quote gay stuff with glee
because it made sense in that context. That's why.
We have Darrow on the line. Darrow, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question for Jess? Take us off Bluetooth or speak if you have us on there.
I'll pick you off. My question is, I currently have a girlfriend, but I got 2 other girls, and one of them is pregnant, but they don't know about the main girl. I'm trying to figure out what to do because the 2 girls don't like each other.
So you messing
but
with
one of
3
them
girls,
is pregnant,
one is
and
pregnant.
I can't have all 3.
Listen, so you messing with 3 girls, one is pregnant, and the other 2, and only 2 of them know about each other.
Only one of them do, but the 2 girls that know about each other hate each other.
Do you know why?
I tried to have a threesome with them, but they got jealous, so it didn't work out with her.
Why are you calling here? Why are you calling me?
I was just trying to see what to do.
Let them go. Leave these women alone. Leave these women alone.
But they like me. Like I'm not promising them a relationship, so I thought it was cool.
I think Jess wants you to leave her alone too.
Yeah, because you calling me with this, and they need to be calling me. I think that's the problem. They're not calling me. You asking me what you should do? You should release these women. You got 1 pregnant, and you still trying to figure out how to have a threesome with all 3?
No, I don't want a threesome no more. I'm just trying to see if I should just leave the girl who's pregnant alone, or still try to confront her, like still make her feel good.
What do you feel? Are you in love with the one? Is this the one you want to be with? She
I don't want to be with her, but I feel bad that, like, dang, she's pregnant. I don't want her to feel like all alone.
Damn. I do respect that y'all wanted to feel alone, so you could be around for the pregnancy, but if y'all not going to be together, just leave her alone after that. Damn, I don't even know what to tell you. This is crazy.
But they all
you definitely need to be with her while she's pregnant. I mean, she can't do this alone.
They just don't want to share me, but they want to stay without a relationship.
I don't know. You got to call Neo, bro. You can't call.
Call Neo. Goodbye, sir.
I don't know what to tell you.
Hello, who's this?
What's up? This is Lamar.
Lamar, what's up? What's your question for Jess?
Okay, so my question is, I'm a truck driver, right? I'm gonna start from there because it's gonna play a part in everything I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I met a guy at a truck stop. We were talking for a little minute, and then I met somebody else. But then I ended up dating this actual person, the next person I met. Mm-hmm. The person that I met at the guy that I met at the truck stop, He told me he wanted to still stick around as my friend. Me believing that, me trying to be cool about it, I left it be. So I kept him around as a friend. I decided to not talk to him anymore. He calls my current situation and tells them that we've been messing around the whole time, and he just kind of throwing a whole little monkey wrench in with my current situation. So now I'm getting all into my current situation. No, it wasn't. I was confiding.
Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
No, we weren't. We were just talking. I swear we were just
talking. Okay.
I swear. Because I'm a Trump driver, so I be wanting people to talk to. So he was good to talk to on the phone.
Right. On the road, like just conversation, passing time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when my current situation hit me, he said, "Oh, how he know all this?" But it's only because I confided to him as a friend. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to handle the situation because now he don't believe that I'm saying my current situation.
Right. But when you secured a relationship with the current situation, did you tell him about the other guy? You never told him about him. You did?
I did. I told him about the other guy. I told him that me and him was serious. We was going on trips and stuff together and everything. So he's watching the post, the Instagram post and everything.
Mm. Well, yeah, you gotta cut him off.
What do I do about this guy? Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta cut him off.
I do
because he's trying to sabotage your relationship with your current situation. Oh, yeah, you gotta leave him alone.
I don't even know how he
y'all
even got old dude's number, bro.
What?
Yeah, he had looked up I guess he had did a background
Instagram DMs,
address and everything. He didn't even know his name.
Oh yeah, get up. Yeah. He's a spy.
I'll be part time for the CIA type.
Yeah, like Secret Service. Yeah, you gotta leave him alone. Leave him alone.
All right, man. All right. I appreciate that, Jess. I'm gonna do it.
Happy Pride.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jesus. Jess Fix My Mess. 800.
That one was crazy.
Yes.
I love that. Go ahead.
800-585-1051. Now we got the latest with Loren coming up, so don't go anywhere. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get to the latest with Loren.
Loren becoming a straight fat.
She gets them from somebody that knows somebody.
She gets the details.
I'm the homegirl that knows a little bit about everything.
She be having the latest on this.
The latest with LoRosa.
Sometimes she have facts, sometimes she have details, sometimes she have a little bit of everything.
Well, it's the latest.
On The Breakfast Club.
Talk to me.
Yesterday, Brandon Hammond, who played Ahmad in Soul Food, posted a photo of him and Big Mama. And the photo went viral. He was celebrating her birthday. She turned 90 years old.
What a blessing.
What a blessing. Yeah. And in the caption of the photo, he mentioned that he is doing basically a documentary to get the cast back together. So in the original movie of Soul Food, the whole thing is that Ahmad is trying to bring the family back together and for one last Sunday dinner. And that is what he's doing right now. The documentary, I actually spoke to Brandon, and he tells me that the documentary is going to be executive produced by Vivica A. Fox, George Titleman Jr., who was actually one of the writers and director of the original Soul Food, George Tillman Jr., and Bob Title, who is a producer from Soul Food that is also George's partner. And they've been working on this documentary since 2023. Irma Hall, Big Mama, Miss Irma Hall is in the doc. So is Vivica A. Fox, who played Maxine, Michael Beach, who played Miles, Jeffrey Sands. They have a commitment from the entire cast to be a part of this doc.
So that'd be Nia Long, Mekhi Phifer, Vanessa Williams.
Yes.
Now, you was telling me something about the young boy behind the scenes. How come we didn't see him as much as we think we should have? Because he was a huge actor at the time, right?
Yeah, he done Soul Food, Menace to Society, Waiting to Excel, Space Jam, and then he kind of just like fell off the end of the earth. And a lot of people have been asking for years.
Christ, God damn.
I spoke to him. These are his words, not mine. His words, not mine. He literally, this is the premise of the documentary. A big part of it is people feel like he just went missing,
right?
And they don't know why. And it's because he actually was dealing with a very serious illness. So he has a autoimmune disease. It's a very rare one called Castleman's disease.
Right.
So this disease, it affects his lymph nodes and his like upper airways in his chest. And he said that he had tried to still act, and because it was going so well for him, he was so good at it. But an agent at the time told him that people don't want to see sick kids on TV. So he took a step back to just try and figure some things out. But he wants this documentary to not only be a celebration of the cast and the movie and what it did for storytelling, especially in Chicago, but he also wants to tell his story too about what he struggled with behind the scenes. Right. Yeah, because he couldn't act. And he said also too that he had a few near-death experiences that he never could talk about because he always thought if he could get back to screen, he didn't want that to be the story. But now he's bringing it to the screen with the help of his cast and his family from Soul Food. So
all those rewatchable shows, when you listen to them on podcasts, those rewatchable documentaries, they're great. Like the Where Are They Now shows, incredible because you remember the nostalgia you felt when you first watched those films back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, are those TV shows?
And that's crazy. They ain't want to see sick kids on TV. We don't mind that. That's everybody's welcome.
Well, we wouldn't know they sick unless they told us.
Right.
Yeah. And that was his thing, is like he just thought he could get under control and not have to tell us and then come back to TV. But it was such a thing that he's been doing other things and just doing things as he can. But right now with this doc, he's actually trying to raise $100,000 for the complete doc. And if you want to support, you can follow them at Sunday Dinner Doc, and they are raising the money via Indiegogo. Okay. So, yes. Now, in other news, we have some congratulations to Sin, because one of them days is getting a sequel. Now, this is the movie with SZA and Keke Palmer that came from producer Issa Rae.
Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
That movie's funny as hell.
Yeah.
You seen it yet, Jess? You'll like it, Jess.
Nah, I ain't seen it.
You'll like it.
See it.
You'll like it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's on Netflix. And so Variety announced this week that Sony Pictures is going to be bringing it back with TriStar. Now the sequel will, which was the sequel of the Issa Rae produced film, is in development already, and it's going to be actually using most of the creative team from the original project. Is set to return with a lot of the original cast as well too.
I can see that world. I can see that world as a sequel. Yeah,
I can see it too.
It's like a Friday.
Yeah, it's like a Friday.
I heard it was like Friday.
I seen it on the plane. Next time you fly out, they have it on the plane now as well, so you can watch it on the plane. But it's hilarious.
Made a lot of money too. Made over $50 million at the box office.
Yes, it did.
$14 million budget, I think.
It made $50 million when it premiered in theaters in January 2025.
Dope.
And because of this movie, there was a big call for more Black women-led, like buddy comedies in theaters.
Like you said, it's like a Friday. It's
yes,
like a Friday type of flick.
Yes. Yes. So congratulations to them. And then lastly, in the latest, Halle Berry got into some trouble back on Mother's Day. Y'all remember the video she posted with her man? She was laid up in bed.
Yep.
Okay. So she posted that video and people were upset. They were upset because she was in her bed with her man and they were talking about a few things. Let's take a listen to the original video.
Showed y'all how my day started, how my Mother's Day started. And now I'm going to tell you about, I'm not going to show you, I'm going to tell you about how my Mother's Day is going to end. Ain't that right, man?
Yes. I wish you hurry up, too.
First of all, we got our Let's Spin, because Let's Spin just came out in this cute little travel size. And so since we're in Cannes, France, I traveled with it for the first time. And we're about to give it a spin.
You about to Cannes with Van.
How you mad because she's in bed with her man?
People were upset because she was talking openly about sex. They're saying should she be talking about this on Mother's Day? Should she be with her kids somewhere? There were a lot of things.
She's in bed with her man promoting her product.
Yes. Huh?
Halle Berry got kids?
That's a good question.
I didn't think
I was
Halle
going to
Berry had
ask
kids.
Google AI, but
she ain't got no kids.
Yeah, I'm not for sure if her guy, if her man has kids that they. But even if so, she made a good point in her response. Let's take a listen to her response.
Well, speaking of motherhood, on Mother's Day, you created a little stir. So there was a reaction, which even caught you a little bit off guard, maybe.
It did, because other women got in their feelings. And was it right for her to be in her bed talking about spinning with her man? Yes. And they were saying, and should she be talking about that on Mother's Day? Shouldn't she be with her kids somewhere? First of all, it's not Kids Day. It's called Mother's Day.
Yes, it is.
Kids Day is every day of the year is Kids Day. That's my day. And if I want to be in bed and spin with my man, then that's what I'm going to do.
And to answer your question, Halle Berry does have kids. She's been a mom since 2008 per People magazine.
So she has 2 kids.
Yes, she has 2 kids. But she was promoting her product, and she's been promoting this product forever. It didn't come out of nowhere.
It's KY, right? Or something like that, some type of lubricant?
It's a lubricant, but it's not it's not called KY.
I mean, I know it's not called KY, but it's a lubricant.
But it's basically that. And remember, we were talking about the whole like menopause, and she was talking about like after menopause things dry up a little bit, and that she's been having these conversations. So it was promotion, and she's happy, and I don't understand why
so what
people
is it?
care.
People think she's too grown for that? They think she's too mature for that? Or they think Halle Berry shouldn't be doing that? Like, what is it? I'm trying to figure out what's the commotion here.
I think people are stupid. I mean, she has 2 kids. It's Mother's Day. She could do Mother's Day how she wants to do Mother's Day. And a lot of times, you know what? Mothers say, you know what? I spend all my time with my kids. I want a day for myself for Mother's Day, and that's fine.
I thought that's what kind of like what happens anyway for everybody.
I'm so mad I didn't know that she had kids.
Yeah, 2 kids. I didn't even know that either.
We never seen them. You know what I mean? I can't say we, but I have never seen them.
She has a daughter and a son.
I like how she talk about sex like she about to go shoot up her ops. She said, "I'm gonna spin on it." God,
that's the name of her product.
I want to. Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's called.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, but it is fire though.
Hey, I'm gonna go spin on it.
It's called Let's Spin. Let's Spin. It's an intimacy gel.
Damn. You know what I'm saying? She talking like she got the chopper. Right. She about to wet up a whole block.
She is.
Okay.
Let's
that
spin
is
on
true.
It.
That is true.
She about to wet up a whole block.
Y'all are crazy.
You wanna go for a spin? Let me spin on that thing. Spin on that thing.
Right.
Hop to it. What did she say?
What else you got, Loren?
What? No, that's it. I was just wondering.
The wrong one.
What that woman said?
Hop to a girl.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing else after that. If they make one for Men Envy. You know you be saying you need help.
I don't need no help. I'm good.
Okay.
That ain't true. You wrote a book, bro. You already.
That was a long time ago.
I was just trying to say.
In the book it said that you didn't make your wife orgasm.
That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
But you wrote about it.
That was a long time ago.
But you wrote about it.
I've been with my wife since 16.
That book is eternal. That book is going to outlive you.
That's all right.
That book is going to outlive the two.
100 years from now, people are going to be reading that book saying, wow, you know there was a time when men couldn't make their women's orgasm.
There was a time back in the day, you know, there was a time when
10 years.
You know what? Forget y'all. That's the latest with Loren. When we come back, we got the People's Choice Mix. Let's go.
You're checking out The Breakfast Club.
Wake up, bitches, today is Pride. When your rainbows is gay outside.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. It's Pride Month, and Jess reps a gay a day.
Yes, y'all. I'm about to rep my girl. She not a stud, but they wanted me to put my stud voice on. I don't know why. But Candace Parker, y'all. We just had her up here. She was up here for an interview to promote her book. But that's the gay I want to rep today. She is a WNBA legend, 2-time MVP, and a 3rd-time champion. She made history winning titles with 3 different teams, so she liked that. And she retired now, but she leads Adidas women's basketball. But this summer, the Chicago Sky will retire her iconic number 3 jersey, y'all. So we repping Candace Parker today.
Salute to Candace Parker.
Salute to Candace. Thank you for joining us this week too, Candace. Make sure you go pick up her book, The Can-Do Mindset, available everywhere you buy books now.
That's right. And shout out to everybody repping Pride. We got a salute to Drew Sidora for joining us this morning.
Yes, Drew Sidora.
That go viral all day.
Yeah, Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
See, I don't watch the show, so she really was saying some stuff in it?
Yes.
I just like, talking to Drew. She's been around for a long time.
She gonna stay at the pot.
Yeah, she has.
I'm sure Portia will call you today.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. But Drew music is actually good though. Yep. I do like her voice. She got some tight music.
We gonna get Capital P in the studio. That's gonna be her recording name. Portia Capital P.
Capital P.
Capital P.
Capital P.
I get it.
You gonna get
they used to say
P.
that's what Wendy was built like. They used to say that back in the day.
Nah, Wendy more like a lowercase b upside down.
That's a P.
That's
capital
a P. Dummy.
That's a P. This guy's an idiot. He was on positive.
I just don't like the comparison of Wendy and Portia. That's all.
Okay, I get it. I understand.
Okay, but listen, I want to salute to Dawn Staley, man, and I want to salute to all of y'all that have been showing up and showing out for Dawn Staley. She's on the New York Times bestsellers list again this week, but she's actually on 2 lists. She's on the hardcover nonfiction list, and she's on the audio nonfiction list. Yo. Salute to my girl Nicole Shelton, man, one of our fearless leaders. Nicole runs, me and Kevin Hart's audio production company, SBH. She directed Dawn Staley's audio book, and it's on the New York Times bestsellers list as well. So salute to Dawn Staley. Make sure y'all go out there and pick up Uncommon Favor, available everywhere you buy books now. Now, the positive note is simply this. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Okay? Have a great day.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?